I think Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a good Indiana Jones film. Yeah, that's right. I think this is a good Indiana Jones film. So first of all, let me just say, the de-aging on Harrison Ford, amazing. I was shocked on how well they could do it. When I went to see it, I didn't see any problems or it glitching. I liked it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a film which had a huge weight of being this great final chapter in an iconic franchise that had well, below standard fourth film that was not liked by everybody, including myself. The most recent film, Dial of Destiny, being the fifth adventure in the franchise, is my third favourite in the franchise. It sits below Temple of Doom and, of course, Last Crusade at 1. I think it manages to end the franchise in a heartwarming and content way that leaves you satisfied. Because you know Dr. Jones can't ever stop being indie because of the rush he gets from it. And with him now being retired from educating as a day job, he can be an indie whenever he wants. Whether you like it or not, Miriam was his true love, and the film ends with them connecting over something familiar they did, obviously, in the first film. And I think that's a lovely and harmless way to say goodbye and bookend these characters. Don't get me wrong, there is a part of me that feels slight disappointment at the fact that the great archaeologist known as Indiana Jones was cheated out of not having died in the past as a part of history. But I don't think them not going with that ending makes this film bad, because Harrison Ford's passion and acting in that scene is something incredible. The thing Indy is trying to gain, the Dial of Destiny, it's an easy plot to follow. You can go back in time with it. It's simple and easy. The action scene that opens the film is probably my second favourite opening of an indie film, behind Temple of Doom. The pacing in the scene is good, and it was personally a very exciting and enjoyable scene for me to watch, as well as all the other indie action scenes in this film. I do wish we had more flashbacks though. I also wish that they really delve deeper into the story point of every modern student doesn't really get excited anymore by archaeology. They touch on it, and it's never really addressed again, which was quite frustrating to me because they focus more on the unlikable characters, like Phoebe Waller's character and her child companion, who was, sorry to say, pointless and didn't matter to the story at all. I didn't feel any connection to him. I also feel as if Toby Jones' character had a very fast attachment to finding the dial. It all happened a bit too quick for me. He had heard about it and he was suddenly addicted to it, like it became his whole life. Toby Jones' character's daughter, Indy's goddaughter, is probably the worst character in the whole film. She's greedy, self-centered, and egotistical, and that makes her character sour, in my opinion, and it makes the scene she's in feel longer. That particular boat scene where Antonio Banderas' character shockingly gets murdered, Phoebe Waller's character thinks she's funny and entertaining, but the audience aren't on her side, and it just adds a longer runtime. And it just makes her look stupid, because someone's just died and she's not felt anything. I mean, Indy literally has to say to her, "My friend just died." She has no sympathy in that scene. I get they're trying to show, or they're trying to convey, that she's this modern female Indiana Jones, but the characters act completely differently. I mean, if you watch old Indy, or young Indy in the old films like Raiders and Temple of Doom, and then she just kind of suddenly gets hold of humanity after he says he wanted to stay and die in the past. Then she punched him out, which was so random and really took me out of the film because she just physically assaulted this man who she cared about, or said she cared about. I mean, Indiana Jones had just been flipping shot as well. Also, the editing and the transition was really weird. That took me out of the film as well. The villain was your standard indie villain, played by Mads Mikkelsen, who personally I don't really like as an actor. I personally think he plays every role the same, with one straight face. He plays the role of Grindelwald the exact same way he plays this role, in my opinion. But it's a good villain, but he doesn't stick in my head himself. His plan does, though, because it's simple and effective. It's easy to follow. His plan is to do everything Hitler did wrong, but do it right. And that really frightens Indy. One final thing about the villain that I'll say, it's not really to do with him personally, but how did he survive that headshot from a pole that hit him while the speeding train was moving at full force? And look, he only came out with a scar and no facial intervention. It's something that really annoyed me, and it's also something you just can't explain away. It's quite minor in the larger scale of the story, but it's just a huge plot hole that really bugs me, you know? But listen, seeing all the cameos warmed my heart, and all of Ford's interactions with the returning characters, it's really something special to watch. You can see how much he cares about Indiana Jones. And you know, the "Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones."
Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones!
That's all great stuff. I love all of that. That was really nice, and I love seeing this older Indy. I do think it was quite silly to say that his son joined the army to piss him off, because it seemed like really lazy writing. They could have killed him a different way, or maybe said he had to go against his will, or just said he has children now and he's moved like halfway across the world. You could have recast or just said he's out of town, you know. But I never really cared for the son in the first place. Look, all in all, the positives outweigh the negatives with this film for me. The magic, it's still there. The entertainment is still there. And most of it feels like a classic indie adventure. That was a much better finale to this franchise. So, I'd give Indy 5 a 7 out of 10.